Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Paranormal Guyz. We're glad you're here. Sit down, enjoy your visit, and we've got some great hosts and a great guest, and a lot of stuff going on. I wanted to give you a little update of some things that were going on. We have got an agreement now, and we will be broadcasting on Guyz Radio. If you don't know about Guyz Radio, it's on Live 365. You could get the app or you can go to it on the website, find Guyz Radio, and you'll find our shows. So we're excited about that. And Shelton has not even made an appearance yet, Daniel. We're barely started. So you'll have us there. And there's some more news coming in the future about some other things. We're growing pretty quicker than we intended to, actually. So we're learning as we go. And actually, I also have a little video treat for you. Here we go.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I'm Miranda Maverick, and when I'm in fight camp, I never listen to the Sportcat podcast.
That's from our good friend Miranda. So, all right, well, let's see who we got heading backstage here. I see Miss Brenda, Mr. Bobby Dizzle.
Gosh.
And
I was on there. And there I am.
See, well, there was a little delay there for some reason. Yeah, see Dina. How is everyone tonight?
I'm good. Where are they? They're not
awesome.
Oh, there they are.
I'm a little drowsy, but I'll podcast for food, so let's do this.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, y'all excited as I am about the news?
I am ecstatic.
Absolutely.
What's the news? I didn't get the news.
Oh, you do too new.
Bobby, catch up. Catch up. Keep up.
We're going on Live
Let's
365 with Guyz Radio. So our Paranormal Guyz shows are going to be broadcast, and the Misfits, if we work everything out right, will be live this Saturday. So, and there's some other goodies coming up. So yeah, we're working hard and hardly working. So, well, let's enough about us. We can talk about ourselves all day long. Let's bring in Miss Mary Marshall, not to be confused with Dr. Mary Marshall like I did. So
we promoted
Why, just because it says MD?
You know, a paramedic. I had that in my head, and I was half asleep when I put the show together, and I was like, and when you texted me or messaged me that morning, I was like,
I'm telling you, it is something I'm going to be changing. You know what? For so many years, I've off and on had to explain how that came about, and it was my initials, and family was like, yeah, you're paranormal, you know, and it was just, who knew I would be doing what I'm doing in the field? You know what I mean? So it just sort of stayed, and now so many people tell me it's just like they just run right into it. Mary Marshall, the Paranormal MD. And so I'm like, do I change it? Do I not? You know, that kind of thing.
It's got a trademark now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and it is. And you know what? And everything. It's like your logos, your banners, but eventually I guess I'll have to change this. So
nah, just roll with it. I like it. So plus I don't think they're gonna come after you for treating ghosts, so
well, that's it. It's like there's no such thing as a paranormal medical doctor. They're already dead. You know,
or as we call them out in the field, stable.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Tell us a little bit about you. I'll let you do it because apparently I'll just read something that's not there. I swear to God, I read that. I must have typed it and read it. I swear I must.
We all did. I was like, wow.
Well, some people in the field do refer to me. They'll, find in as an affectionate way. Hey doc. One of those kind of things. But I don't want to get in trouble.
It's like being called the Colonel back in the 1800s.
Yes.
Everybody back in like 1850 was called Colonel for no reason.
Yeah.
Every old man with a mustache. Hey, Colonel.
Hey, Colonel.
Never served.
What's up?
Stolen value.
Can't even make good chicken. So.
Not anymore. They use
Funny.
pigeon.
Oh, Lord, Brenda.
So
Yeah, Mary.
I was gonna say, I really hate this. Because I do this in class when I teach paranormal studies, which I did last night, and it's like the briefest thing. So I've been in the field for about 25 years. I have cross-trained, if you will, but Staples been, ghosts and spirit entities type of thing. Paranormal, but also ufology with MUFON and Bigfooting, so to say, because I can't say cryptids. It's really just more Bigfoot and that sort of thing. And I teach paranormal studies at the college, and I have a book, but it's a fictional book because that was one of the things you got wonky on the page. That is called Continuum. And I'm working on one called Paranormal Entanglement. And I'm sure I forgot a whole bunch in there, but that's good enough.
Well, I did read that you were a medium and remote viewer.
Yes, I am a medium. The remote viewing, I will tell you, I actually took it down because if it's something remote viewing, if it's something you haven't done for many years, and you stop doing it for a long period of time, I don't feel confident in putting that out there. But I did used to use that in combination with the psychic and or mediumship for like missing person cases. Mm-hmm. And then for a while I was working on a documentary with this gentleman in the UK who unfortunately passed away. A very nice guy, but anyway, I was doing it for him, and that was kind of cool because he was trying to work on like some of the Nazi things where they were underground and whatnot, and so that was very fascinating to use the remote viewing that way as well. But yeah,
cool. Well, so but I was going to ask who trained you with the remote viewing if you wanted to.
I was about to as well.
Yeah.
I will tell you, no one. I did have a friend, Harvey, who is a remote viewer, but he's in California, and it was just basically like the same thing to some degree that you could probably get off the internet. It was like, here's the approach. What was really good about it, because I found it kind of difficult because there really is in my mind, a fine line between psychic and remote viewing. And so I had to look at it and really strip it down, so to say. So it would be just right, what you're seeing as far as lines, colors, textures. Is there any smell or taste, materials, those types of things, and keep it really as basic as possible initially starting to kind of retrain my brain for the remote viewing part. I am going to be studying it again, probably next year. And I will be studying with Michelle Friedman, who is a remote viewer. And so I do want to continue to do that because it's there. But like I said, that's, I have high standards for myself, so I want to make sure I'm very good.
That's the thing about remote viewing. You've got to use it or lose it. I mean, I was trained by a person from a 3-letter agency, and I was really good at it for about 3 months, and then I stopped playing with it. So
and it is a muscle memory, I think.
Michelle is she's the one with the public publicist company, isn't she?
Yeah.
Is it Michelle Fried or Michelle Friedman?
She does have it's something media. Oh gosh, now I gotta look this up.
Because I'm in work.
It's so horrible that I can't plug it for her.
I'm supposed to get back with her once my channel gets a few more followers.
There, because that's got to be the same. Yeah, because that's what she's doing. Part of it. She used to work on other really high-profile shows as well, and so now she's kind of doing her own thing.
She's really nice, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She's very nice.
Her and I had a couple real long phone calls. Mm-hmm. It Media Company is her company.
What did you say?
It Media.
I want to Google this, right?
Lit.
There you go. Okay, it's going to say, because that didn't sound right to me. And I was like,
Daniel has in the chat down here.
But yeah, so, and I was going to say, with the remote and the mediumship type thing, the same thing is that I waited a lot of years really to go public with it because for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to make sure I was really good before I got, you're dealing with people and their emotions and their psyche, and you don't want to be like, all right, I'm going to do this now. And the other thing is because my niche in the field was really as kind of like the science, in the science aspect. I was the one at the conferences that would be there it is. Yeah. Okay. Would be talking about all of, different aspects of quantum physics and wormholes and things long before anybody was. And maybe there was a handful of us out there, and now it's more of a, common conversation than it used to be. And I'm glad, because it really needs to be.
I know that I grew up a medium. I realized what it was when I was like 5. And so in my family, a lot of times in my family, I wasn't allowed to speak about it. Like, it scared them. My grandmother was clairvoyant and told me that my abilities are phenomenal, but I just don't use them. When she passed away, when I was 16, I just stopped. But what never went away was all the people who wanted to come and talk to me every time I turned around. So I just set my boundaries at bedtime, all the normal stuff, so they don't. Yeah,
I do too.
They don't ever sleep. Yeah.
That was one of my things. I always, say in kind of a joking way. I said my house is a no-fly zone, for ghost kind of a thing. Right? It's like no, because that's your place to recharge, your place of solace. And I have opportunities where they can do that, and I just don't want to be. I mean, it happens, but I don't want to be on all the time. And some people are, and that would.
There was a couple shows ago we were on, and I do not know where it came from, but whatever it was not very nice. And things just started happening. I'm online, my lights are going on and off, and I'm like, oh man. And then my computer would do something funny, and I'm just sitting here like, I'll take care of this when I get done. And lo and behold, everything in my house shut off, my computer, everything. So yeah, I was off the rest of the night, and I was kabooting whatever was in my house needed to leave. My dog kept going into a dark corner and barking and would not shut up. So it was, I got rid of it, but yeah, I don't like them when they come into my house, but it does happen.
Right. So. One of the first times when you were saying about setting boundaries, I remember I was sitting in I had at the time a really big, master bedroom kind of thing. So I had the TV in there as well, and like a chair, and it was there was a door, double door on this thing. And the TV, and I'm kind of looking, and it's like, what? And it was somebody that I knew not super well, but friend's acquaintance I'd met a few times had passed away. So he was being very respectful, and it was kind of cool to see, you know what I mean? Because he was literally just on the other side, because I had started with just the bedroom,
Oh, wow.
you know, just on the other side of the door. And so I thought that was I was like, thank you. That was really nice. But when you were talking about family, that was a lot of reasons for most of my life of really not using it. Family, extended family, to this day, not even just the psychic, anything. If I say the word, you know, paranormal or ghost, and I did have this happen with somebody. I was actually talking about a historical location, and I knew that nobody was comfortable, but I wanted to talk about that part of the story. And I said, well, we were there, you know, and something about spirit, and the word spirit came out, and literally, I don't want to hear that crap. Okay,
So
are you
sad.
kidding me? You know,
Yes.
so, and it was like,
I've heard
so that religious thing that was with me, and then I had a really kind of negative experience, and so it just kind of kept it at bay longer and longer until finally, it was like, okay. And you know what? I'm so glad. I'm so glad I did it, because when I started in the paranormal field, there were not all these like pay and play haunted locations, as I call them, you know, you go
Right.
to. You know, there was a handful, like, you know, between the Midwest and the East Coast. And so you were doing home investigations and, you know, those sort of things. And the one of the aspects I really liked about it was helping people. You really were helping people then, you
Right.
know, that they didn't have a clue. And, you know, you're going in there and hopefully, you know, sorting some things out for them. Well, that changed, you know, because everybody became a paranormal investigator, knew somebody. You're not going into homes very often anymore. And so when I started doing the psychic mediumship, it was really warmed my heart. It brought me back to, this is what I want to do. You know,
You know,
I need
I
to
have
do this.
Yeah, I have a doll that has an attachment, and she is a child. I've had her for quite a while. She hangs out in my house. I don't mind her. She's very playful. She loves my roommate. When he's barefooted, she'll touch his feet, the top of his foot, and he's like, "Tell Hannah to stop touching me, please." But she does the normal things, picking up keys and placing them somewhere else, or, you know, little stuff like that. My cat loves her. My cat will get up on my dresser and just sit next to the doll, because it's my mother's ashes and then the doll, and the cat will sit right in between them both, and she just loves them. And she'll stand up every once in a while and arch her back like she's getting pet. So my dogs are okay with her. My little one, he's new, and he barks at a leaf falling out of a tree, but you know. But he's getting better with her. She doesn't bother him as much, you know. So, but I can't tell her to leave. She loves it here. She loves me. She'll sit and actually have conversations with me, and she just doesn't know where to go, because I think when she passed, she could never find her parents, and that was a bad thing. So she attached to the first thing she could get, which was her doll.
Yeah.
And this doll's from Germany.
It's so interesting because you're bringing up things, because I just finished one of the courses last night, classes. And those are things that were coming up, talking about the ones who you put your keys down and then they're missing. Can you please put them back?
Yep.
And talking about all the things, you know, can ghosts, you know, harm you, help you, you know, do they attach? And I always look at it like, and used to be taught in school, like a noun, people, person, person, place, and thing, but they can also attach to what you had just said, circumstances. And I came across a case like that. It was with a child. It was like the whole block was one of those same builders, so they all looked the same. this poor sweetie, he was abused, and actually
Oh.
they killed him with the abuse in the
no.
closet. They found him. And so we found this out, that a couple doors down, they were having other activity in the house, really, except for this pair of eyes that was now the adult son who said he would see in the closet. This would have been the little boy's room 2 doors down. So he thought, here's a nice family. This looks just like my house. And so he attached to the circumstances and them for that reason. It was a place of familiarity and safety.
Yeah. And sometimes that's what a lot of them want, is something that's
Yeah.
familiar, something that feels safe, especially the younger ones.
Right.
I find myself every once in a while, I'll get woken up by one and they're just looking at me and they're like, am I dead? And my response to them is, well, sweetheart, you are in the middle of my living room. And if I'm seeing you, yes, you have passed away. And you need to go where it is that you need to go, to the light. If you
I've
want
never
to go,
had that happen. Wow.
yeah, it's kind of wild, especially if you're woken up like that. It's like, oh, I'm so used to it now, so it doesn't bother me. Now, my roommate, he'll think I'm crazy if I'm in there talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you'll hear him say, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm fine. I have a visitor."
Yeah, I'm I think because you tried so long to control and suppress, I think I learned very well at basically, in a sense, turning it on and off. Like I said, there's certainly going to be times, but some people, some psychic mediums, like they can't, or maybe they don't want to. Maybe it's a comfort to them to always have somebody there. But it's weird. Like you'll be sitting, in person in a, I've had this happen, like in a restaurant, and this friend of mine, you'd be talking to him, and then all of a sudden he'll just be like, yeah, no, I don't think we're going to do that. Okay. Yeah. You look crazy to other people, dude. Stop it.
Yeah. Tucker Metal asked a question, and he said that if they're attached to a circumstance, does sage still work? Well, I'll tell you from experience, this is what I know. If they're attached to a circumstance and you seriously do not want them there, they will leave. They won't know where to go, and they may not leave peacefully. They may be a little angry, but they will go if you don't open your house to them and accept them and at least acknowledge that they're there. They will go if you absolutely do not want them there. But everybody in the house needs to say they don't want them there, because if it doesn't bother one person and that one person says, man, why? They're not doing anything, they're not touching anything, well, then it'll stay because it feels wanted. So,
and they haven't been there, and it's not really, I guess a way to say it, established, meaning it's not the home. Because I always say, I think it's easier in using some of the tools that we use, like sage and, remedies or whatever, sage or stones and, things like that, to help remove. It's easier to get rid of, in my opinion, negative. Now, when I say negative, I'm not talking about like demonics or something. I'm just talking about like, somebody who's kind of a jerk, kind of there.
Right.
Easier to get them out, because if it's grandma and grandpa, if they don't want to leave, they're not going to leave, but they're going to quiet.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They're going to quiet down because they don't want to scare you. Or scare a person. They don't, so if a person's a decent person in this life, they're going to be a decent person in the next life as well. So
yeah, that's why, like with Hannah, I don't mind that she stays. It does not bother me. Doesn't bother my roommate. So she's fine where she's at.
Right.
And I recently moved and I brought her with me. And when I moved the doll, everybody knows, even my roommate, he like carries her and talks to her while he's walking with her, trying to be nice, and he tells her, I'm going to pick you up now and I'm going to move you over. He explains to the doll what's going on, because he doesn't know to like just look around and there's a little girl standing over there and, talk to her. So he talks to the
Right.
doll, which works for him, and it works for her. So, but yeah, I mean, and if it's grandma and grandpa, you don't want to kick them out anyways. You don't want them going
Right.
anywhere. I mean, I would love
But
to have my grandmother around.
I think there was a question before this one. It was interesting because somebody said it doesn't work on something because of no lungs. What was it? Does not.
Yeah, sage does not work with a non-physical being as they have no lungs to breathe.
Well, nor do dead human beings. They're not physical. They don't have lungs either. So it's not that they're inhaling it that is the why that works that way.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
I would
A
think
lot
there
more
would also
sense.
be intent, too.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Me being alive, I really don't
Potentially,
like the
yeah.
smell of sage. So,
Right.
I like the smell
Yeah.
of it.
eh,
I like
You
it
take
mixed
it or
with
leave
pork.
Yeah, that's good.
Mix it with pork and put it on a biscuit. I love sage.
oh God, Bobby.
I think they got to up your salary of food. I think you're hungry.
Yeah, well, I'm awake.
That's,
He's the barbecue guy.
that's a good thing.
Generally means I'm hungry.
That's right.
I don't know. So, did you say that you did write a book?
I
It's a
did.
fictional one?
That is a fictional book. It does involve time travel. It's called
Man.
Continuum. So it's got a little bit of romance. It's a little bit. What was kind of interesting to me when I approached it for that book was I remember growing up and my parents were older. I was like the youngest of four. And like my sister was 13 years old or 11 years older. And then like my parents have 7, 8 siblings. So, I mean, like everybody was just way older. And so growing up listening to them and combining that with the time travel is how do people get to be how they are? Because like we all did it probably for our parents, we think. And then as we age and we go through life and experiences, you start, because even now, I mean, I weirdly have had a conversation with my mom and said, I'm so sorry, Mom. I thought she's passed away. And I thought I understood that I knew, but I didn't, And so having how people get to be what they are, but did it in a step back to putting her back to somebody back from the 90s to the 50s. And there's a little, to this day, I have yet to, at least, I'm not saying it isn't out there, read or see a movie or anything with this one aspect that's kind of a zinger at the end of it. So I'm not going to say because maybe somebody will go buy it and read it, and that would be fun.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
I'm interested.
Yeah. Yeah,
Also,
we usually sometimes when we have people on that write books, a lot of us will like go out and look for those books and buy them
Yeah.
and read them. So
yeah,
It's
that's
somehow, and I have to tell you, there's this weird thing because I found out that apparently Amazon can arbitrarily, after a year or maybe it's 18 months or something like that, they can just arbitrarily change the pricing on your book.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, really?
And I
Wow.
actually had went to some people who are like really, like written multiple books. That's kind of their staple. And asked about this. I'm like, what the heck? Like, when did this happen? Like all of a sudden I looked on there. And so I don't know,
I'd
that you
be-
can do anything.
I'd be upset. That doesn't sound right.
Right?
Is it
I
up,
mean,
or,
you
up
think
or
you should-
down? They change it.
Way down. Like it started out as a $16.99 and it was like $5.69.
What'd I do?
Really?
And I went, and I caught it. And how embarrassing. I'm so glad I caught it. I mean, but I was at a conference and, I always like sell the book for less in person. And at the conference, and all of a sudden, I don't know, whatever. And I just went to look, and I'm like, what? And then like looked again, and then talked to some people. They go, yeah, they can do that. And I was like, all righty then. So I don't know what the options are. And it doesn't matter because I'll be on to the next one soon anyway. And, kind of having fun doing some other people's documentaries and things as well. So might just land up doing that instead.
So in all of your ghost hunting things, what's the most historical one you've done so far?
Well, I guess you could take that a couple of. One of it was historical museum type of location. What was cool about this one is I got so involved with the curator there and just the village, the town, where I presented, did a whole presentation thing, of what the findings were originally. But it got to the point to where I just was in there all the time. I would use it when I had a big team and I would train people and just go in there. It was EVP Haven. One of those, like you literally could be in there an hour and easily come out with 20 viable, good EVPs.
Awesome.
But I did that for about 4 years, for almost 5 years, 4 years. That's why I like it, because you really got into who was in there, who came through, the stories behind them, and all of that sort of thing. And finding out that this whole location was not even named after the people who were in the house the longest. This guy, Clayson, built the location. He lived in it for like 18 months or less now, if I can recall, because it's a while ago. And then another quick 6-month turnover with somebody. This Wolf family lived there for all the way to the last living relative for about 70 years, 70 years.
Wow.
They're not mentioned anywhere. This is in this museum, or historical society, I should say. And so consequentially, somewhere, and towards the end of that, we caught an EVP of a female saying like this dragged out help. And my heart, because I just now maybe, intuitively kicking in, I knew. So the next time we went back, I said, does somebody here left a message saying they need help? Does anybody here need help? Got an EVP response that said, just me. And at that point, for the first time, and I'll be honest, at that point, I didn't really know if I won't say I didn't know what I was doing, but if I was doing it correctly. I knew I had to move around. So I looked at the team. I says, this is bittersweet, because I guarantee you every bone, fiber of my being is telling me when I move her along, the rest of them are going to move along. They're only here because of her. And sure enough, this is what was cool. How are they going to let me know? Sure, yeah, they can, try to talk to us intuitively, but in a solid way for everybody else as well. We went in there 3 or 4 more times, maybe 4, but at least 3 times afterwards. Quiet, not a EVP, didn't hear anything, didn't catch anything visually, just complete silence. And everybody said, well, wait a minute, can they come and go? I go, yeah, the family can come and go here. And you know what? They still might be, but how are they going to let us know other than silence that it worked? And so now it's not haunted anymore. Wow. I mean, at least openly haunted, that because other people had noticed it. Wow. You could be standing there and 3 feet in the day, didn't matter, night or day, and you would just hear somebody stomp in between you. And so you could audibly hear things as well. But yeah, I just stopped, and it was the right thing to do, kind of sad because lost, that location to kind of study and test new equipment at and all that sort of thing and train new investigators. But it was the right thing to do.
The only thing left to do is just leave a Ouija board open in that location for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Just get it back, get it haunted again.
Well, how would you know? Though people are in and out of there anyway,
Ooh, that's a bad portal to open. So,
Yeah,
that's
bad.
similar to what Kara told us. I don't know if you know Kara Phillips. She was telling us she's a RN and she likes to go to old hospitals and for some reason prisons, and they've got several places, and she's gotten attached to. Not like physically attached to, but like emotionally attached to, because she's heard so many of these stories from these people and they just won't leave. So that's pretty much what she was telling us.
Mm-hmm.
It is. You do get, I think that's it. You get a bond with the people there on one level or another. And it can be a kind of an emotional thing, in dealing with them. But no. It's different.
Where do you believe? How do I want to say this? When we die, we were always, I don't want to say trained, but most people will say you go heaven or hell. Those are the two places you go. But then we have ghosts. So what do you think they are, or what do you know they are? Because I know you're using some science with this.
They go to another dimension. Because and here's the thing, because especially when you're teaching, you can have an array of backgrounds, cultural, religious backgrounds in your class. So a lot of times when let's say if I'm talking about demonics, I say, when I say demonics, I'm talking about a set of characteristics and behavior that most closely resembles what Christians would refer to, and other religions as well may refer to as a demonic. So it doesn't matter to me, or matter what your beliefs are, but I can guarantee you this: there are some really, really bad things out there and they can hurt you. On the flip side of that, when we talk about heaven, we always kind of look up, right? Heaven's up, hell's down. And it's just, I think it's another dimension. I think that heaven exists. I might call it, or the next person might call it, could be completely different, but it is a different realm than our own. And then from a medium side, when you're kind of bringing them in, they're not always here all the time. They come in and out of our dimension.
Okay. Yep. One of our viewers says that you either cross into the light or you stay in a low energy realm. It's just what he's calling a different realm, I guess. So,
well, the thing of it is not everybody sees the same way. Like, I don't see actual humans. I see mist forms. On an occasion, I could get a face. But I hear them, see them, feel them if they touch me, smell them if they're wearing a perfume. But not everybody sees the same. Yeah. Well, not everybody believes the same way either. Whether we think it, on your opinion, it's a dimension, I believe in other dimensions also. Like with the Bigfoot. Yeah. How does he get in and out so fast? I believe that he goes through portals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's
but other people may not.
Because that's the commonality on all of these, whether it's ghost or Bigfoot or ET, type things. It's now you see it, now you don't. Mm-hmm. And there is a lack of physical evidence and so forth in a lot of these. And so, yeah, it's an interdimensional. To back that up from a science aspect, there was the Hadron Collider in CERN in Switzerland. Billions, hundreds of billions, actually, at this point, that has gone into this because they had to shut it down and revamp everything again. About 4 years, I think it started back up again. The whole original purpose, I'm sure they do other things there as well, was they were smashing the atoms. It's in these tunnels, miles long, but it's very contained. It was several years, and then one point they did that, and some of the particles, at a quantum level, disappeared. So that's the whole point of this collider originating was to discover other dimensions and find proof of that. And in fact, they have. Now, is it happening all the time? No, but it is leading them in that direction so that science can start backing some of this stuff up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Kevin.
Do you think it's changing some of the things that are happening? I said happening. I like the.
You need a sandwich.
I like my other guest rescheduled, so I was all hyped, and so now I'm on here, so I'm kind of like thrown off. I'm missing like a spoke in my chain.
We're sorry, we're your second best, Bobby, but that's okay.
I would have been on here later anyway. I was going to say, do you think the Mandela effect's real? I won't sugarcoat it. To some degree. I had a bad one this week. So I'm asking.
See, here's the thing, because I think that, and again, this was not even it's actually part of my paranormal entanglement class, which is more on the science side of things. But last night, sure enough, it came up because I came across a new one, and which was for the Mandela, which is just so crazy. If where it's like sing in your head right now. It would be great if we had the music, because that gets you like you're in the flow, And then I had the words, fill in the blank. I'll be home for Christmas. You can blank on me. What is the words? What is that word?
Count
on me.
Count on me, yeah.
Yeah. Count.
Nope.
What? Okay. The Mandela effect. What is it?
Plan.
Oh.
You Google the heck out of it. I've listened to Bing Crosby, Michael Bublé, if that's how you say his name, Frank Sinatra.
That's not right.
Then looking at lyrics, nowhere. It all says plan. There's a good half of us that are like, what?
Is it
no
said
way.
two places? Two places
What?
in the song. There's like two different verses. Is it said two places in the song?
It's still, if it is, it's plan.
Plan in both?
Yeah.
That's the scariest one.
We did it.
That was a new one to me. Yeah. So it's so funny you just brought that up.
We did a show on it, on Mandela Effect, and I brought up one, and it was the Beatles. It was an old Beatles song, The Eggman. And they changed that. And I was like, how on earth did they change something from people who are no longer here?
I had a bad one this week.
That?
Tell us about it, Bobby.
What was it this week?
My friend, I say friend, well, yeah, she's a friend. I could have sworn 5 to 10 years ago her mother died. Because I remember thinking about it. Because I know her mother has a name not usually given to females. It's kind of a boy's name. I remember, 5 to 10 years ago, I remember thinking about it. And this weekend, she posted happy birthday to her mother and showed pictures with her kids today. I'm like, wait a minute.
Whoa.
Dude, I swear. I would bet money that she died 10 years ago.
Well, that's how it all, with it's after Mandela, Nelson Mandela.
Right.
Like that was it, Francine something or other. She thought...
He died in the 80s.
Detailed coverage, news coverage, that he died in prison in the 80s, and he actually died, I think, 2013.
Yeah.
But so, but you know what? To go to really the question when you started this was, I think all of us in the paranormal field, we have to be really careful and not make the mistake of saying it's one or the other, or this is the reason, because there could be multiple. Like, what is a shadow person? Well, I think sometimes shadow person can be a watcher. At other times, it may be a human ghost without the ability to manifest into a full-bodied apparition. Different things like that. Same thing with the Mandela. I think sometimes it is how our brain, because I have studied on that as well, because it's part of it, the neurobiology, looking at, the 101 ways our brains lie to us, which is why, because people say, like with equipment. Yes.
Question on that. The way our brains lie to us, how can that be if there are so many people who remember it the same way, like the song lyrics and
Right, and they don't know each other, and it's
Right.
unrelated, so it's
Yeah.
not like a mass hysteria type of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
To be honest, I wish I had it in front of me, because I'm just kind of educating myself on the terms that they're actually used for it. But I think that it does. I think that it does
Reset.
also exist as a break in the timeline.
Okay.
So I
okay.
do,
Yeah.
So I do think there is sometimes it can
Like a
be an
separate-
after the fact memory,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And we know that people's memories can be horrible, like witness
that's true.
statements.
Right.
And you go like, well, what did the guy look like? And 3 people are going to
Yeah.
say, oh, he had facial hair, and 2 are going to say they didn't, they glasses,
Exactly.
not. So those types of things. But I do think that some of these cases very well maybe. This is going to probably get more serious than you want.
No, that's fine. I love
No,
it.
we love that.
Oh, yeah.
Take us down the rabbit hole.
The other thing,
Pull
when
us
you're
down.
but when you talk about like whether it be the brain and the functions and stuff like that, and how they would work, is there's so many aspects of science that you have to get into, the physics and quantum physics and entanglement and neurobiology, and learning how this all works together, and just really being looking at the fact of, just because like we're all together and we don't have an answer. I don't know. So we don't, the answer is we don't know. It's paranormal. Well, just because we don't know doesn't mean there isn't an answer.
right.
That you just have to go to the person maybe educated in whatever it is that's their specialty or something,
Now, I've heard that they basically every 100 years or so that they go through a reset, and when you go through the reset and you remember what it used to be, you have people now that know it as it is. Like the Mandela effect changed because they changed it in that reset instance.
Right.
But I don't know what any science would be behind that. But sometimes when I sit and I hear what people say, it makes more sense than just going, well, one person went back in time and changed the lyrics to that song, or one person went back, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense that way.
Gosh,
we don't live 100 years.
All right, I'm literally, because I will forget, because I get so like, get into it. So in answering that question, 2 things. One, time is a man-made construct.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to put this, I guess as short as
I think
possible.
you're right on that.
So it is time as we know it. Yeah, right.
I'm always late.
It doesn't exist for some people. Maybe you're one of those people. No, it doesn't exist as we know it. We think of time as linear, right? So year 1, year 2, it's like looking at a ruler type of situation, Well, now take it and turn it sideways, because if you go all the way back to the Big Bang, everything's connected, that separates. It's going to remain quantumly entangled, but it also is all of time occurring at once. It's just taking place in different dimensions, spatial and time dimensions. So year 1 and year 2023 are occurring. So as soon as something clicks off different and 2019, it's going to click off right away in 2013 the same way.
Okay.
Now, combine that with another science fact of looking at gravitational lensing. which is like a really, really crazy thing. And this is going to sound like science fiction, and it's not. So we all are aware of cloaking of objects, right? Military and whatnot are all using that. So they have this cloaking that they do. What we aren't aware of is that there is a thing called cloaking time. You can cloak events in time.
Yeah.
Now, these are being done at MIT, Cornell University, and various universities that they're doing it. Now, we can only do it right now for like 120th of or something like that of a nanosecond, which is nothing. But we can do it. But we can do it. We're showing it can be done. As we get smarter, as we get into the next 10 years, true quantum computing, what took us 10 years is going to take us an hour to learn. You know, I'll be able to pull it up, and that's going to continue. So in this thing, how they do this, it has to do with this whole gravitational lensing thing. Bottom line is the observer will not know the difference when it's changed and it's been, that event has been hidden.
See,
and so we are the observers.
That's
the
scary to me.
Wow.
Do you
But you won't know the difference. So
I know. That's what is a fear. I mean, even if it's like you could live Groundhog Day, big Groundhog Day all the time.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
I think that
every time I bleed through a little bit, like we're experienced with, you know, songs or people or, you know, those type of the Mandela.
These might be the Mandela effect might be the bleed through. Excuse me, just a minute. It might be the bleed throughs we're seeing. And I have a question. Do you think CERN, the colliders, have anything to do with like the time slippage? That when they're firing up the quantum colliders?
It's you know what? I have thought about that. This is entirely impossible because you know that there are people, and I have read peer-reviewed scientific articles, so it's legit, whether it be a kind of fringy, but talking about those types of things and saying like, oh gosh, I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh no, it was a time slip. That's what it was. I don't even know what the heck I was going to say now. Can you ask, what did you ask me again?
The quantum colliders, do you think those have anything to do with time slippage?
Because people are trying to create black holes.
Exactly.
Now, so we're messing with the fundamental makeup of stability for the universe, for our universe. And so, yeah, I think it's entirely, you know, possible that some of these things could be accelerating this type of thing.
I think so too. Okay. That was my question. Go ahead, Brenda, or whoever.
Actually, I was going to ask the same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Glad I jumped in there.
So does that mean that there's time travel is not possible?
Could be possible.
Well, according to Einstein, it's not. You can't go back. You can go into the future, but you can't go backwards. However, that's what the theoretical wormhole that we're never ever going to be able to prove, you know, is. Because a black hole, we have those, and those are like pulling everything in gravitationally. What happens is that the wormhole is a purported white hole on the other side. There you can come out at another place in the universe or another period of time. How do those stay open? There are some theories of type of energy that might be formed, but generally it gets so heavy and so dense that you just get crushed in the middle. So we haven't like really from a science side really figured that out yet, but theoretically it is possible. It is possible as far as time and or space to be able to do that. Have those changes.
I know that Nikola Tesla was working on a machine for that, for time travel and stuff like that. So I imagine if you could figure it out, it would be possible. It would be interesting.
Again, this is just from stuff that I take in, and it's kind of my own theory, and maybe other people think the same way, is I don't know that we need to physically travel.
Yep.
You know,
Right,
it's sort of
right.
like as we evolve, we're going to be doing things more spiritually, telepathically communicating, those types of things. So I think we're going to be able to move about, so to say, without our physical form, if you
Right.
know what I mean.
I think
Yes.
people do that anyway. A lot of people do that.
Right. And I think that's something where I can sort of see a split, you know, somewhere up the road where you're going to have people who are really into the biohacking type thing. They're going to be, you know, the cyborgs. And then you're going to have the other bunch of us that are going to be more in this spiritual realm, if you want to call it that.
Astral projection.
Yeah, more on the PSI side of things. And you ever think about this with aliens? Like we always talk about these like little like grays or whatever.
Yeah.
And like they have these big heads and big eyes and mouth. And people who have claimed to have been abducted say that they're talking to them telepathically. So they're communicating that way. So they're not verbally talking. Their bodies are very little. They have no muscle mass. They're just hurt. And I'm like, wouldn't it be weird if that was us
in the future?
Like, 1,000 years from now?
Yeah. That
because we would no longer, it would be evolution. We would no longer need our bodies to be the way they are. We would no longer need to speak.
It's after we're in the pod. After they put us in the pod and fed us crickets.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
But they say that like a lot of the aliens. Yeah. They say that a lot of the aliens, that when you see them like grays, that they're actually wearing suits, because everything that is on them or in them could be toxic to us. So they say that they're wearing some kind of a suit. I don't know if it would be a skin suit or what it is, but yeah, if that might be souls that left from here, and it's where we go and what we do after we pass.
There's a question.
But
what was the question?
My question is
with the UFO.
For like the last 10 to 15 years, people have started saying that aliens are fallen angels.
Yeah.
I don't. That has never been my thought process or what I subscribe to. What is your?
I don't think that at all.
I don't think that at all.
Yeah. I think that sometimes we, it's like folklore, ghost lore, alien lore, if you want to call it that. That people kind of get together and maybe they're smoking a little weed and come up with these things. I don't know.
I don't know where it came from. I mean, just all of a sudden it popped up being people, demons, they're fallen angels. I'm like,
I don't. They say it's the Nephilim.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, I don't think that.
I've never heard of them call them Nephilim. They've called them fallen angels, and I just don't. I believe.
I was talking about Bigfoot.
Well, yeah, my philosophy is if there's a God, I believe in God. That's my religion.
Yeah.
But God
do too.
is omnipotent. Why should we believe that we're the only beings in this entire universe that He created?
Bingo.
We're not. We're not. But when somebody talks about fallen angels, what crosses my mind is from biblical sense. If they're fallen angels, they were kicked out for a reason. So I wouldn't think that they would be put here. Well, the way it's said is they came down here and they breeded with females to make hybrids, is what they say.
That's the Nephilim, right?
Yes. So
that's not.
that would be alien. Yeah,
you know what?
that
Too,
would
I
be
think
alien.
people try to come up, and I'm not saying that they just, some people start
They do
talking and
make
then
up
it just
stuff,
passes
yeah.
along. But we try to mix like our religious
Religion,
beliefs
yes.
with science, with maybe our literal experiences,
Yeah.
and to kind of come up with something that can work. Like one of the things that's been always really hard for me was as a Christian, past lives. Well,
Yeah.
they shouldn't exist if you're a Christian,
That's
because
never.
your soul is your
Yeah.
soul, and when you die, you're either going to go to heaven or hell or thereabout. And so if you are constantly having a choice and being reborn and that soul's going back out, you're taking the control to the individual rather than God. And it's just according to a lot of Christian, religions and
Theology,
Bible and
yeah.
so forth. Yeah,
Right.
It's not supposed to be.
Right.
So I started thinking about this, and and again, if you start looking at like near-death experiencers, and things that they've gone through, and just some of the writers on there, what's her, Elizabeth Kubla and stuff like that. But anyway, maybe, and I don't know, like I said, I think I want to believe this because it makes it easier for me as a Christian. To maybe, rather than these souls, this energy coming back and being reborn, is that the memories are passed along of the lives. So when the physical, it's like a record. It's like a record of that person's life. So when one person passes and another person is born, that is sort
Okay. I
of,
see what you're saying.
Would that explain like deja vus?
It could, and how people,
Possibly.
especially like children,
Yes.
like start talking about things. I mean, those are documented. That's
Yes.
Now, could they be psychic? A medium? I mean, rather, that could be a possibility, and they don't even know it as children yet, and they're
Right.
picking it up that way. Or is it that these are implanted in our hippocampus or in our long-term memory storage, and they kind of comes out that way?
Yeah.
God recycles. Sometimes he shouldn't. Some people he should.
Yeah, there are some
right.
people he shouldn't be recycling.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Sometimes, the can just needs to be crushed and put in the trash.
You're right about that, too. Yeah, I think we can. Our souls. Maybe I'm part Christian and Buddhist. I don't know if that's the correct, but
A caboodist.
a caboodist. Come back to look. I mean, I think we do. Our souls do. I think we maybe choose to come back to learn lessons, to get to a higher knowledge, or learn what we need to know to make our spirits better, to make our
I've been taught
spiritual,
that,
yeah,
yes.
to make our spiritual selves more aware.
You know what, though? Even though I just said what I said, there is part of me that agrees with you on that. I think that we are, and we do have life lessons to learn, and we go through them, and we can choose, who our parents are going to be and what our next life will, which is completely contrary to what I just said.
I know,
But this
isn't that
is a
weird?
really good example of what I was meaning. You get people together, and within ourselves, we're trying to, and I can't think of the term I want to use, but make sense of it all.
Makes sense.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we come up with this. So maybe it's this, maybe it's that.
Yeah, we'll never know until we die.
And you kind of can believe them all a little bit,
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And for all we know, it might be a little bit of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
But I feel like what I knew my daughter before. I mean, I knew her in my soul before before I even was pregnant with her, I knew this person would be coming to me. And when I was pregnant with her, it was just I knew her, and it was
Yeah.
really, really weird. And
I
weird.
did past life regression.
Did you?
That was. Has anybody else done that?
I haven't yet. No.
Mm.
It's kind of
No.
cool
I
because
have.
I was a little. You did? How was your experience?
Weird, strange, but kind of made sense. It's like I went back to. I came from. I seen people that I came from, like my lineage came all the way back to Lincoln, and
Wow.
it was just very, very different. And I had to sit for a little while and get my ground when I was done, because some of the stuff that I was looking at and seeing and reading about, and I couldn't make it. It's almost like I had to sit down and try to put myself back together to make it make sense. So I was sitting in a room with myself and several myselfs, and we were sitting there trying to make sense of what I discovered.
Well, tell me how that happens.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
You know, that whole saying, me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and lots of eyes.
Yeah, okay.
But it was different.
What was your experience, Mary?
Well, I was very hesitant, and maybe I'm a little bit of a, I don't want to say control freak, but it is that kind of like, well, I don't know, I'm going to just the whole hypnotizing thing was kind of weird, because I've seen people do very strange things, despite the fact that I know they're not going to go kill somebody because you hypnotize them and stuff. But still, and I'm there, you're there, I'm there by myself with the person. But what I didn't realize is I was completely aware the entire time that I was still under. And I know that sounds weird, but you're under. But like at a certain point, this is how long ago it was, because that person had a tape recorder. They were still using tape recorders to record the session. And so the batteries ran out like halfway through, and she's like, okay, hold on. So she's just, keep your eyes closed. I heard her get up. I went to the other, but I stayed in there, kept it, and just tried to stay. But I was always aware. And at the beginning, it was a lot of references to she, me, her, I would go back and forth while I was taught, and she was like kind of giving, you can say I, because I would be like, well, I mean her, she, that kind of a thing. And some of it was real tragic. Like part one of it, which was supposedly the immediate one, I was just crying. I mean, just like crazy, because it was so emotional. I went into it with the idea of, if this is real, this is going to be really cool to see what I find out. And if reincarnation isn't real, it's going to be really cool to see what my brain manifests, because either way, either of those is going to hold value for my makeup, my psyche of who I am right, now, or was at that point.
I think that because when they had me doing it, I was younger, and I had a tragic past when I was little, and they had to put me through some therapy. So in the midst of this, that's when I went through that, so that they could bring back my memory of that, because I had questions. It's like I would get little pop-ups and couldn't figure out what it was about. So they put that whole memory together for me with that. I can't even explain it, but yeah, so it was one of those experiences where I went through some good things. I went through some tragic things. I went through some really weird old time things, like the old dresses and horse and buggies, and it was just a very strange thing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
it makes a difference because to kind of, I think, I mean, it is, I don't even know now, but at the time, I'm sure it still is just really expensive to do. But if a person can do it, and here's the thing, whether it's one of those things, real or not, we're never going to have anything tangible to prove it, right? So we're using kind of empirical evidence, I guess, kind of looking at it. Either way, it's really can be valuable information for the individual.
Yes.
To learn about this, and why and how certain things may be, or relationships or personality, so forth.
Yep.
But
I agree.
well, I have to let you guys continue this conversation by yourselves. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I don't know what else we could talk about. We went down this.
Yeah, we were down a hole there.
All over the place, right?
I'm just looking around the room
so
right
much.
Yes, thank you.
It's been great
I'd like to have you
here.
back again, and we can get more stuff from you. So
it was really nice meeting all of you.
It was nice to meet you.
I love this. I love being able to, have a two-way conversation. So this was great.
Great.
You guys have a great rest of your show.
You too, Mary.
Right, thank you.
thanks, Mary. We appreciate you.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
I like her.
Yeah. Of course, I
That's a good question,
bad.
Token Metal. You can go to the paranormalmd.com or mediummarymarshall.com.
You have to die first and find her.
No.
Look in the yellow pages. What's wrong with you, man?
Haven't you seen
Bobby,
Beetlejuice?
Bobby, if you ever,
God for the recently deceased.
If you ever pass away, Bobby, and come to me, you and I are going to Buc-ee's in spirit.
Buc-ee's he says Buc-ee's right now in spirit. What are you talking about?
He's going to be dressed in the beaver suit.
The beaver suit.
Come
Get
back
in the
as a
beaver suits and go.
She was very, very interesting.
the Texas cheesesteak.
We have yet another one again for the Mandela effect.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm sitting here, I'm doing it in my head, and I'm going, wait, no, that's not it.
Well, that's like the cuckoo.
What about
this? It was when you do he says, they are the Eggman, I am the walrus, cuckoo, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it's always been.
Right.
Well, now it's not cuckoo. Now it's, damn, just slipped right out of my head. Goo.
No.
Yes, they're doing it with a G, goo.
No.
It's not
that's because they replaced.
They're saying it was
what's
goo.
His name?
I don't know what they did, but it kind of irritated the shit out of me. And somebody had brought that to my attention. Yes, so I looked up that video. The walrus.
Mrs. Robinson.
No, I looked up the walrus.
Wrong song. Okay,
sorry. The walrus.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
And
they say that in Mrs. Robinson, but not
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so they changed the walrus. I am the walrus. They changed the lyrics in that song, so it's
what the
hell? And there's a lot of things. That was the night we were talking. Yeah, that was the night we were saying they're talking about how in Star Wars, the original Star Wars that came out, Darth Vader said, "Luke, I am your father."
I
saw
that.
And that's not what it says now, according to Glenn.
No.
But Jack found out why that is, because he said that when whoever George Lucas went in and wrote everything and put it together, he changed some of the original ones.
Let's see that.
So that's his bad. That's his bad. He should have never done that.
He shouldn't have. What did you say, Glenn? There's a.
Oh, that was the Queen song. We are the champions. At the end of it, they say we are the champions of the world. They don't say that. So
yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Okay, they did.
They did on the radio. They played it.
Maybe in another
Right.
world they did, but they don't anymore. So
They did if they
World
played it on the radio.
on the radio. Ooh, on the
I mean,
radio.
I bet you that if we
Go,
went back,
Joe
So
DiMaggio.
wait a minute, we're going to be on the radio.
Yeah.
Joltin' Joe has
Yeah,
gone.
we are.
Yes.
Gonna be on
So
the
how
radio.
do we know that there won't be a different version of us saying something different on the
Oh
radio?
my gosh.
Oh,
There
well, I would
probably
hope
will be
not.
in the future.
Ross, I need you
Yeah.
to save some files.
Right.
So
Somebody
make copies and
record
make copies of the
Somebody
copies
record
and
this.
send them to everybody you know.
well, we joke about this, but when we were out in the field and we had a portal open and we recorded it, that was one of the very first things Trey wanted to do. He took one of our team leaders, we sealed it in a pack, and it went straight to his home and put into a safe. And then another one went somewhere else. I brought one to Georgia, and we kept them just in case. But still, does that protect you if you were
No.
never there?
Oh,
And, well, I have a friend that had an ET encounter when he was down on the beach. It was down around the Gulf, where I'm going next week. And he said that the UFO he saw was in plain view, and then it slipped into time. He said it literally slipped. He said it looked like it was going in an envelope. I'm like, so if there is stuff that we either don't know how to use or somebody else has got technology on us, damn, they're good at it. So
yeah.
Well, they've had it for a long time. They just don't tell us. Why? You know what?
Or maybe we're going
Why-
to get it and we haven't told us yet.
That's
Yeah.
possible.
And I mean, why?
very possible.
It's like the powers to be. They keep all that technology to themselves.
Oh yeah.
They don't want us to know anything because we're nothing
it's
but
not safe
peons
with
and
us.
we eat their resources. Well, in some
cricket food.
aspects, I would agree that it's not safe with some. But if it's something that is taught to us and we know about it all of our lives, it would be safe and it would stay safe because it would be a normal part of life. It's like with this whole alien thing. How long, how many years did they keep it from everybody, even when people knew better? So
Just
now
like they're
it's
hiding
like
those
when,
two other states. Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
yeah, right.
That still messes with me.
I'm telling you, it messes with me too. Because when I was growing up in school, I was taught 52. Don't
You
ask.
all are crazy.
And I went to school in California. No,
Oh,
I'm
well,
That
serious.
explains it.
And I never,
What?
and you know what it is? It's just like the
Here,
way
explain
things
it.
are now. When I was a kid and
California?
they taught you that, you never questioned it and you
Yeah,
never went
California
back.
does explain it.
Yeah. And when you're young and you learn that,
Exactly,
you
God.
don't go back and do research on it when you're a kid in school.
No,
think
the
y'all
teacher's
are
the
nuts.
voice of authority.
Because
Man,
there's
the-
only 50 states. There's always only been 50 states.
Well, I
No,
know
not-
that.
No, that's not true.
And
not
I've
always.
known
One
that
time there
since
was
I
like
a
13.
kid.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
I mean,
And before that,
Since
there were
we-
I was- yeah.
colonies.
Hey,
Since
Until
when I-
until
you know what I'm
1945, there was 49.
when I was an adult, I realized that, yes, there was only 50. But when I was a kid, I was being taught 52, and don't ask me why. Hey, maybe
I
in
do
the
not
near
know
future
why
there
y'all
will be
crazy.
52, and they were preparing us for it. I don't know.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what state you all thought you were.
She was in
Did
California.
you hear
and I
about
was in
that-
Virginia.
That big mistake in that
Wow.
Oppenheimer movie
JT
with the
says
50.
he was taught 52.
No, Bobby, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
sorry, Bob.
Oppenheimer, they did like a victory celebration, and everybody had American flags waving, but all the flags had 50 stars on them. It was before Hawaii was a state.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, so they, like they say, like the movies, all the movies, they tell us what they're doing. We just think it's entertainment. So, I mean, it this whole world is so
Right,
screwed
right.
up. I
Open
just,
model.
I want the I want the mothership to come get me and get me the hell off this ship because this one sucks.
I'm afraid. I shouldn't say afraid, but they're doing one of these big experiments, and they suddenly discover how to make a black hole, and we just all of a sudden just sucked into it and gone.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping in my bed thinking, man, I really want to get up. Got to get up and pee, but it's too cold out there. I don't want to. Wait a minute, what's?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could destroy everything in a minute.
Are the experiments that they're checking out really in the right hands? I mean,
no.
Should some of these people be doing this? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But should they have ever been done?
Some of them, no.
I mean,
no.
Some of them I see because it's helpful for the future of us to evolve. But a lot of them that they do, no. I don't think they should be playing with. First of all, they do.
They do.
They do.
She said do.
I said do. Like, let's see. Cloning, that's playing with God's work. That should not be done.
Right. I don't
okay. Absolutely no. Anything that messes with this planet, it's anything that messes anything. You guys better stop it.
No, it's just squirrel Bobby
went. He's looking around. There's something here with me.
I was on another tab. I didn't know what I was doing.
There's a red horse hiding you.
And a carp, a floating carp.
A trout.
Daniel got mad because he didn't think the same thing he did, so he left.
Squirrel! Well, and like I said, not everybody thinks the same way. And that's okay.
I know, but you got to keep a little
It's different for everybody. The experiences are different for everybody. There really is not one person that knows more about paranormal than the next.
That's true, because everybody experiences different things differently.
That's right. Absolutely. I mean, I have been told by several psychics and my grandmother that I am a psychic medium, clairvoyant. I can when I was younger, I used to be able to move things without touching them. And I'm a healer and all this stuff, but I don't put my abilities to work like I should.
But
there are a lot of people.
Of your very close friends tell you you're crazy.
Yeah, but there are people that cannot reach that aspect of psychic abilities, open their minds. There are some people that can't reach every level, but that's okay. Everybody's different. I could reach those levels right now. I choose not to, and I have to take time, and I have to sit with myself in the dark, complete dark, and I have to concentrate. And I have to start doing things. That's right. That's it. And I just don't take the time in my life to do that. So I choose that. I choose it.
I mean, I get it. It's like I said, with the remote viewing, the guy who taught me, he said, you could be pretty good at this if you just keep working it and practicing it. And he introduced some concepts to me where you can travel time in remote viewing. And I was like, that's crazy. Well, I could, but I don't practice it, so. And the only thing I've ever really found was a dachshund in a pipe in California or Texas, somewhere I'd never been before. I described exactly where this lost dog was.
That's kind of cool, though. But you could.
There's power lines. There's this. There's that. And I described it, and they were like, "Oh, okay, hold on." They went, and that's the only thing I've ever found. But
wouldn't it be cool though if you could find people that way?
Well,
yeah, and you could also visit people's head.
I mean, missing people and stuff.
Yeah, and it can be done. I saw
there's a lady that does a true crime podcast like that.
Yeah,
remote viewing.
I had her on the show. It's pretty cool.
Oh.
I don't mind the whole remote viewing thing, but it's the other thing that bothers me. Ascending, leaving your body. I would be afraid that I wouldn't be able to get back.
There's a silver cord. There's a silver cord.
It's not really a silver cord, but you tether yourself to it. There's a way of doing it. Yeah. I've actually only done
that. I've never
twice, maybe.
That I've never tried. I've never tried that.
The first time I did it by accident. So.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
I think JT's done that at some point.
Well, I don't know, but you can do it. It's not impossible. But yeah, the remote
What
viewing
did
was a
JT
great
do?
skill. He
I
left his
think one
body.
time, yeah, I think that happened to him. He was explaining something very weird that
I think he
thought he dreamed. He thought no, this has been recently, and
Oh,
he
okay.
thought that he dreamed what had happened, and I don't exactly remember what it was. JT needs to come on and if he remembers what the hell he said, and tell us what it was, because like I said, I think, and I told him, I said, JT, I think that you left your body and went and seen that, and
Possible.
because it sure did sound like it. I mean, it was remarkable what he told me, and then what he found out. So, I mean, I think that, well, I know that every single human being has abilities. You've had them
Absolutely.
all of your life. But when you are not taught to stay with it, or you're being told it's not true, or it doesn't, that doesn't ever happen. When you're being told this, you shut your mind to those abilities. And it's like, you can get them back. You just have to work for them to get them back.
Something you told me.
God, they're all God-given abilities, but God never makes things really easy for you. You have to work for them.
There's an easier way. That's for you, Todd. So
careful, they're going to change that song too. Watch out.
He was Facebook user. Okay, well, you see, I don't think I can see all Facebook users' comments. Some pop up with names, others pop up with nobody. So I really don't know. But we'll be glad to answer your question. That's Wendell, right? Prospecting US?
Yeah, it's Wendell.
Yeah, we're
Wendell,
glad to answer your question. If I had seen it, Wendell, I would have done it. I'm sorry. But I really don't believe, because tonight I can't send comments to the chat, but the other night I could. So yeah, I went back through in all the groups and checked the settings to make sure it was right, and it was. So I don't know, but I think it's. And I talked to somebody. Well, Wendell, if it's important, I can message her a question. I will be more than glad to do that for you. Somebody on StreamYard, and they were having similar problems. So, and he says it's hit and miss. So
that's weird.
I don't know.
I've never been able. I have to go on my phone to be able to get on the chats in here. I've never been able to do it from here, and I don't know why, but it might let me do one. But it comes up you.
It says tonight that is not currently supported in Facebook.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's probably got to do with money or something. Facebook probably wants the money. Yeah, she did kind of ask that a little bit, if they were changing the time, because we discussed how, there's the one theory that the UFOs are just us in the future. So.
Yeah, we did talk about that, Wendell.
I do believe that they can change time. I think ET is the sneaky little bitches. I think they use technology. Yeah. Whereas you got the ghosts and the demons and all that are natural, and you got the Bigfoot that's, well, we think it's natural, but they're the only ones that can really, they can get you with anywhere, anytime with technology. I could be sitting here talking to you, they could grab me and put me back, and I'd never know it.
I think they said,
that's crazy.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Dina.
I think they probably have some kind of mind tricks as well. Like, they can probably screw with your mind.
I think.
And here's, one night I was dreaming. The dogs were barking. I was dreaming, and I saw them coming down the hall.
Oh, you did?
I'm like, okay, this is a dream. And then when I woke up, I was like,
crazy.
That wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
And Beth's like, did you hear the dogs barking in the middle of the night? Funny thing, I did.
Do you remember posting that thing that said that Bigfoot was saying that they are people? They are people.
Yes.
that we evolved from them, that they are people. And I actually asked somebody that knows about Bigfoot and has them around. And that person said that basically that's what they've told her. So,
well, some of our team has remote viewed Bigfoot and got to be, I don't want to say he was friends with it, but he had made contact, and it would make contact with him telepathically. And it was injured, and it was on another planet, and it wanted to get back to this planet. It was Georgia was its home, but yeah. And I think
interesting stuff tonight, guys.
That's when our brain is most open to it, because it's down in the the theta state.
Yeah,
and that's when your brain.
Yeah,
that's when your brain is most susceptible, and that's also where whatever it comes from, you'll hear people say that they were downloaded information. That's also the time they get downloads, and it can be in the form of dreams. So
I get
your updates.
Yeah.
That's true. I've heard people say they get downloaded to
sleep. Come here.
I was in a future world not just the other night, and I thought, man, Dion sure is a good coach for Alabama. So
whoa.
Maybe if he brings Hunter with him.
Hunter Biden.
Oh God! No.
Yeah,
they'll leave cocaine all over the place. And
can you imagine if Hunter Biden owned a football team? That'd be funny.
Oh my goodness, they'd make some kind of.
Whoa! That just blew my mind. I'm sorry, Dina. I forgot that JT's there, and I saw an image walking behind you go in the door, and I'd say, "Dina, go move!
Somebody's here with me. Oh.
Somebody's there."
I forgot.
It's
Prospecting
USA, Wendell. It's kind of hard to explain. Somebody that I know that did it professionally, and probably still does it professionally for Uncle Sugar, says that it's just like sitting down and having a conversation with me or you. It's as if he's writing on his pad of paper in his mind, "My name is Bob," and he's handing it to them in his mind, and they're writing down in their language, "My name is Tom." And he said it's just a mechanical process, and it mechanical is not the right word, but it's kind of like a process.
Yeah.
And I think we have to do what is
prospecting. I still have faith that we can turn elections if there's enough of us that vote. So I'm going to keep voting. But
I saw the other night during one of these concerts, a girl was on there, and for whatever, she's a young pop singer. I don't remember which one. I don't keep up with the music, but I saw her flipping through the TV stuff, and she had them registering. She registered 5,000 Democrats for her concert.
That was probably Taylor Swift.
It may have been. I don't know.
Taylor Swift got 38,000 people to register.
It might have been her. Yeah, I saw it on the news, and I think that's just squeakiest wheel.
Yes.
I mean, I really believe that. I don't. You can have your opinion on whether it was stolen or not, but I think it's just squeaky wheel.
I do not believe that. 80 million. 80 million people. I don't think 80,000 voted for him. To be quite honest.
If you actually look at the map they put out, I mean, the map they put out is more in the highly populated areas.
Exactly.
But I don't think there was that many. I mean, it was like the Atlantas, the Chicagos, the Washington, D.C.s, like that. But
the inner cities don't, like the places that they said that were concentrated like that, some, I think they probably canvassed and did the same type of thing, vote harvesting type of thing that they did for like nursing homes and crap.
Oh God, don't get me going on that.
I know. But let me tell you this. Do you remember the Time magazine thing that said Trump was right? There was a shadow, there was a type of shadow government or something like that. Okay.
Well, there's FEMA, which Reagan
No,
created.
no, listen. I'm not done.
Okay.
Do you remember the Time magazine article
No.
that came out after the election?
No.
Okay. Look it up. The Time magazine that says Trump was right.
I vaguely remember that, by the way.
Okay. The
Just vaguely. Trump was right.
headline on the front cover was Trump was right. There was a shadow conspiracy or a shadow government or something like that. They started to. It was businesses, certain businessmen, and the What are the people that are called that are unions? It was the unions, Democrats, and whoever else in the government started working 2 years prior to the election to fortify it. They didn't steal it, they fortified it. That's the words they used. So
I remember
they told everything that they did.
Yes.
They admitted to every damn thing they did.
Absolutely.
Well,
and they always do.
Now. Yeah, weather. There's a guy on the Weather Channel tonight talking about the weather changing, the weather modification, and he pulled up a map of the U.S. that's .gov, and he showed exactly. There's several right over you, Brenda. Today, he goes, yeah, they're doing weather modification today. NOAA's out there actively doing it, and I'm like, what? They're telling people this now. Well, no, I'm not saying I didn't believe it, but I'm just saying, yeah, they're doing things now. They're just putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know?
And we can't do anything about it. What the hell?
Well,
what are you going to do? We can get an F-16 and a nuclear bomb and take over? Come on.
Well, I don't know. They seem to be falling from the sky without pilots lately.
Didn't fall from the sky. It traveled for a while because there's a lot of pilots. So.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just sickening. It makes me so damn mad.
I wish I could, and I haven't found it, but it was back in, say, I moved to Knoxville in 92. So it had been prior to 92. There was a Time, Newsweek, one of those magazines that had, they're grooming this man, and it was Obama back then to be the future president. And I would love to find that article because I read that article back then, and he was a nobody.
I sent you something on that today, but she didn't look at what I sent. So I sent you something on
and
that.
with Ross, and I've been on. So
I know,
give me.
But it does tell you on there who he was associated with.
Well, I'm talking about. I'd like to read this magazine article again.
I'll try to find it
in
for
the
you.
past, but yeah, it's. And I remember that from way back. So
it's probably been Mandela affected again.
No, I'll try to look.
Like, oops, we left that out there.
Well, if they're gonna Mandela affect things, could they please stop messing with our food? I mean, come on, it's bad enough they're messing with our songs, but our food too. So
I can't go to any fast food restaurant anymore. That kind of sucks. For real.
Well, I don't know. I'm gonna go eat out for a week on a beach here soon. So.
Where are you going to go?
I don't care. The place at the bottom of the elevator that serves beer. That's the place I'm going to.
I see.
At the bottom of the elevator.
Damn straight. I'm going to see if I can just wheel myself out there, get some wings and beer, and just wheel myself back up. Go sit on the patio, look at the ocean. I might even smoke a cigar. I haven't had a cigar in a long time, so.
I think you deserve one.
What did they change now?
They've changed everything. They changed my underwear. So
not you.
That'd be some shit to go to sleep with blue underwear and wake up with black underwear and go, wait a minute, how did this happen?
Oh yeah.
Wait, just damn.
What did they do? Yeah, that would be odd. So.
But
I need to get a squirt bottle for this dog. When he starts chewing on my wires, I need to spray him.
If they
That's
Oh,
good.
hell.
I like that.
Caffeinated cryptid.
If you just need a beach chair.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, well, I guess they really don't make a beach chair that would support a
Oh,
Sasquatch.
Yeah,
So.
get mad. What did they change it to?
Oh yeah, Wendell's saying that they changed the magazine, so we'll have to wait and see. I have to find it and see, but my memory is probably not very good from that long ago. So,
Are you talking about the one I was talking about, or the one Glenn was talking about?
yes. Bobby, you've been quiet tonight.
I'm tired. Just hanging out.
I could tell he was worn out before he got it.
I blew my adrenaline.
Oh, that's cool.
He's even got a part in it. I like that. He's a well-brushed, well-groomed Squatch. I like that picture.
Looks like my wife's golden retriever.
Do what?
Feels like my wife's golden retriever.
No.
It's like he's
manicured.
Your wife's golden retriever drinks coffee.
No, I'm just saying the way he's brushed
He
like
changed the glasses and made the hair gray. That might look like Glenn.
Easy.
I know.
Now. Easy.
That's
easy.
That's fun.
Easy.
Amazing. Sasquatch can dress up like Glenn.
Well, you know,
His little hair
I'm
gray
thinking.
out
I'm
here.
thinking I was going to dye my mustache all black. So I
Oh,
don't know.
God.
It's just a thought.
No,
Roy Orbison.
let's not do that. let's not do that. That might be not good.
No,
That's
that would
about as
look
close as you
bad.
get me. Yeah, just all black. So and maybe grow a beard down to here.
Like New
Well,
Zealand.
never mind. Huh? Do what?
New Zealand All Blacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tomorrow I
Yeah,
got
I'll
Marie from the Florida, mid Florida, I think. Trying
do ya?
to make a Florida Sasquatch.
Oh, put him on a Hawaiian shirt and some flip flops.
There you go. Surfboard.
I tried to
That's
say Florida Sasquatch swimming next to gator, and I got this, and I'm just kind of pissed off about it. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go with it. Look at this.
Sometimes it disappoints you.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
But that would make an excellent comic book character. So they took a
It would.
Sasquatch
Yeah.
and they put an alligator head on it. I like it. That would make an excellent cartoon or comic book character. So,
Yeah, it would. Like a swamp
Swamp
I
Thing.
used the
Swamp
Grand
Sasquatch.
Theft.
swamp
I
scotch.
used the Grand Theft Auto template.
No.
Everything looks like Grand
Swamp
Theft Auto.
scotch. Swamp
I'll be right back.
Swamp squatch.
I think I'm about to hit the Satch.
Wow. Everybody's tapping out. You think it's a Friday around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better quit getting in there and chewing on that.
But should I?
Burt
should I-
Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds is Gator. Yeah. Well, let's see. We have tomorrow night. We have a live eviction on Big Brother. I know this is Bobby's favorite topic.
Yay.
Big brother.
That's right, and they will be.
Big
Well, let's
brother.
see. Let's see here. If I can pull a Bobby Dizzle.
Bobby Dizzle.
You gonna pull it,
Except I
Bobby?
guess,
Dizzle?
well, I was gonna say I gotta have the screen up first.
I'll give you $5. You can do it.
Shoot, I couldn't be anything close to Bobby Dizzle.
Yeah. I ain't shit.
You are a legend.
Bobby, you should have put a an initial in between, like Bobby G Dizzle.
He's a Dizzler.
In my
Was it-
food blog, I called myself Bobby D.
What
Bobby
was
D Dizzle.
what was the movie where he kept calling? He's the Dizzler. He's the man. He always had put it in IER or some kind of really just took the guy's last name and just added to it. God, it's an 80s movie.
This a low.
Yeah, that you know what I'm talking about.
This a Rooney.
Oh
Bobby
yeah,
is
yeah.
great. Bobby is great. I agree.
It's, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
might have
The
been.
Meister. There's a
Yeah.
kid from the Mighty Ducks would do it too.
yeah.
Dirk Dizzler.
Dirk Dizzler.
So tomorrow is the live eviction, and this was leaked from the Big Brother house.
Crazy.
And we really don't know what it is. It's kind of like a Bigfoot on the right and a headless man with two heads
No,
up
that's
there.
a production. That guy on the right is a production guy.
That fella's a production?
Yeah.
Well,
He's
I'll
just
tell you
dirty.
what, that fella there doesn't miss a meal for one and has some
No.
poor grooming habits. So
He's just dirty.
how do you get that dirty on the damn roof?
I don't know.
So the competition is something to do with this. Maybe not these two, but this. So
It's like Sling Blade. Or
it's something to do
Squid
with
Game.
Unless those are mannequins. Are those No, those are production crew members.
that's I don't know. I think it's Bigfoot personally. So
No, it
And
ain't.
this guy said, well, he looks like he's got a, well, maybe he does. He's in California. Maybe that is a face mask. Maybe he's got a
Yeah.
bandana. I mean, but yeah, he does kind of look like that. But anyhow, so tomorrow, Big Brother, it's a live eviction. I don't know if you can call it an eviction because they're going to compete to see who comes back or who doesn't come back or some crap. They don't, they won't tell us. So we'll have that tomorrow live at 10:30. Dina and JT. No, JT will be at a concert enjoying himself on his first date. So
It'll be me
oh,
and
was I supposed to say that?
And
I don't know.
see,
Me and you and who? Bobby won't do it. He doesn't like Big Brother.
Bobby.
I've never seen one. I've never seen one episode.
He'd be addicted. It's like trailer park trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got me watching it.
You want to come, Brenda?
Whoa,
You want to come?
whoa.
You want to come help us tomorrow, Brenda?
I'm going to come.
I can.
Oh God, I don't know.
Do not
I
come.
can.
Do not
Yeah.
come.
Come.
Do not come.
Do
not come.
Do not come.
Do not come.
Do not.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
That's a great sound effect. So we got that, and then Saturday night, we will have the Misfits.
Yay!
This is Bobby's going to be there. Part of this, the Hyman Hustle is the name of the show. We're going to be talking about cherry popping. So
Hyman Hustle.
Hyman Hustle.
Bobby,
Yeah, I'll
bring your
change
wife.
that, so.
bring the Mrs. Dizzle. That
This might not be the show
fun
to have
for
the
her.
Mrs. Dizzle on.
I would rather die.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, come
You
on.
still bolt the door when you go in the studio, Bobby? So-
I go get a hotel room. I'm not even home right now.
Oh man. So yeah, we'll be doing that, and we'll be live on Yerg's Radio. They're going to start rebroadcasting. They have the first 10 episodes of the Paranormal Guys. The second edition, not the first edition with that other cast. It's the second edition. That other cast is, well, they're gone. So it's dead to me. So it's somewhere around the world. But so yeah, the second edition of the Paranormal.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
You're
Couldn't
fired.
resist.
You're fired.
So yeah, they have the first 10 editions. And then Saturday we go live with them for the first time, which ought to be an audio entertainment in itself while we talk about the Hyman Hustle. So we'll see how that goes, play that out. And in the following week, we will have another Big Brother show. And the next week, we have Annie. What is Annie's last name? She also is a medium. She lives in the Washington, D.C. area. And she's going to come on the show and talk to us. I had it pulled up so I could find it earlier. Annie Larson. She's a medium, a Reiki master. She's a Reiki. She's a teacher of Reiki. And she does regression therapy. She's also been featured on radio and TV and magazines and newspapers, and she's also been called in on police stuff in the Washington, D.C. area. So
Nice.
her passion is to bring healing and closure via readings to help others. So I'm looking forward to that. Plus, I'm kind of curious about, I might ask a little bit about the what do we just call it? The
Regression.
where you go back, that
Regression.
So, yeah,
Not
well, I'm trying to
progression.
be progressive, so. But
You have to
Progressive on the repression. Oh, look, now I can't even say it.
it's easy for you to say. So that's next week, and then the following week's Misfits. I'm going to go on vacation because it's my birthday, and I'm going to leave these misfits in charge.
We're free.
God knows what they're going to talk
Lord
about.
have mercy.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm gonna have a pina colada in one hand, a beer in the other, and an earphone in, screaming for no apparent reason. So
He's probably going to be sitting there going, "Oh, you can't talk about that."
I'll be like, "Oh,
What is wrong with you
I hope
people?
Ross isn't listening." So
Hey, let's name that one Freedom.
Hey, yeah.
Freedom 52. There you go. That's your.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be great. You're right, Wendell. So
It'll be fun.
I don't know. So yeah, then I'll be back for the weekend after. I can't leave them in charge for too long. They may ruin everything in one show. So.
God, I doubt it. Hey, we're professional, man.
That's right.
Did you say men?
Man. You said man.
Man,
I wasn't sure what she said there. So, and part of her face is disappearing. So
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not real.
It's because of the
Maybe
mind.
I'm not real.
She's not
See, this
real.
is-
I'm not real.
Bobby, so
You look
please
like
keep
a snake.
please
oh my
keep me out of
gosh.
trouble with the FCC this weekend. So, her next weekend.
We'll try. We'll be good. We promise.
No, we
Are
won't.
canceled.
No.
Nah, we can't get canceled. Well, I guess we could get canceled, but we won't. So
Yeah.
we'll just tell Brenda.
You're fired.
So if
Hey.
the show's screwed up, she's out of here. So,
Oh, no,
got them
no.
lined up. They're knocking on the door, wanting in. So
Okay. Keep on a knocking, but you can't come in.
that's right. Brenda, you going to be anywhere the next week? Or you got anything going on?
Actually, no, I don't.
Well, that's
really?
good.
No media appearances?
No, I'm the other show that I was doing during the week knocked their hours down, so I won't be doing them. I won't be co-hosting with them anymore. So it was fun though. I enjoyed it. It was great. So now that we're broadcasting on Rumble, I'd like to get a few guests from there. I think it'll be very interesting.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And Miranda just messaged me. I mean, literally just messaged me. So she must be listening. And she asked if I would be willing to share. There's an auction. It's 32auctions.com/a new grip. That's
New grip.
a new grip. 50% of the proceeds are going to help survivors of human trafficking, sexual exploitation. I would really appreciate it if you could help. So Miranda's been a big fan of the show and been a big supporter of the show. So everybody, especially you on Yerg's Radio, since you're our new people, get out there and help Miss Miranda. That's at www.32 the number auctions plural.com/a new grip. Help survivors get a new grip on life. So it's going to help people that have been having problems with human trafficking and sexual exploitation, and for their families.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. I mean, Miranda.
Miranda.
I know.
She's a doll. I love her. So,
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait till she comes back on the show. Yay.
Well, I told you, she said that when she gets her next fight, we'll be probably where she announces it. So
Awesome.
Cool.
yeah, I'm hoping so. So and I think we've lost Bobby. He's going to the light. The sleep and food
Sorry.
degradation
Light,
got
Bobby
to him.
Ann.
Sorry, I'm doing
Like-
Halloween shows next week, so I'm practicing my flashlight ghost girl look.
Go to the light, Bobby Ann. Go. Bobby Ann, go to the light.
You have to
Bobby,
forgive me. I'm checking
What
out.
do you got going on this week?
Me? I got Marie Dumont from Florida, Bigfoot tomorrow,
Cool.
All right.
and Kara Phillip on Sunday,
Oh, you got Kara. She's sweet. Tell her we
October
said
1st,
hello.
the week of the spooky month.
That's
Spooky
it.
Kicks off my Halloween. Kicks off my
Spooky
Halloween month.
Nice.
Sweet.
All ghost
Yeah.
stories, all ghost guests the whole month. And then on the 21st of October, I got my Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo.
Oh yeah.
That's right. That's right. The Dizzle show is going on the road. So
Cat balls, bitches.
On
Cat
the road.
balls. I want one of them cat balls.
Oh, I
sell
need to
them.
get me one. I've seen the big ones. They have big ones. and they
Yeah.
have like
the big balls.
I know
pokey
it.
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Easier for me to see with my old ass eyes. Come on now.
Like the big balls.
Like it when my
I like
balls
the
are
small
showing.
ones.
Feel better in your
balls,
hand,
small
Dina?
balls.
Is that what you're saying? Bobby, every now and then it looks like your room
hand?
is flashing. Are you taking pictures?
Talking about what?
It looks like this flash for like a flash camera is going off.
Dirty
every now and then.
Diana. She's probably back there.
Every now and then behind you just look like a flash, like somebody took a picture.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's happened like 3 times during the show. So, at least that I've caught. Yeah, everything lights up just like somebody took for a millisecond a flash. So, I don't know.
What if they are? What if I'm getting the light on?
You have fans.
I'm not taking pictures, I promise, Bob.
Do you have a window in that room?
Yeah, but it's night.
Cars, maybe?
No,
Oh, the big cars.
not on my street this time of night.
Maybe your wife's sticking a strobe light under the door to try and hypnotize you so she can get in and use your toys.
It's probably your computer
Maybe.
brightening up.
It was awful bright though. I mean, it would just do it and dim down. So
I think he's still playing with this flashlight under the desk.
Oh, he might be.
he's playing with.
Is that
a lot of
really a
things.
flashlight, Bobby?
Flash or flesh?
That's what I said.
All right.
Bob, you're
the dummy's not
blinding
in here.
me. You're blinding me.
No, the dummy's not in here. She can say hello to the dummy via Dina though if she wants to. So
The digital tots are in here.
the little dizzles.
I can bring him out. Where is he?
Oh God.
Little dizzles.
Oh, Dina's
You don't wanna
got
see him?
Shelton. Oh,
got
that's
Shelton.
funny.
I've got
Yes.
Shelton if you want to say hi.
So,
so creepy.
tomorrow we're setting up an OnlyFans. It's going to be Dina's getting pictures with Shelton while JT's at the concert.
I want to
Shelton-
look at him. I'll
Shelton
bring him
ran-
out. He can't talk to you, though.
He ran away and went to Dina's house.
Hold on. Oh, shit.
JT
He
was
feels
being
safe with
JT
Dina.
was being mean to him. So,
Oh, Lord, he's under all kinds of crap.
You know
oh
what I mean?
God, did you knock his head off?
No, he's under stuff.
What the hell is that growling?
What the hell's he doing under stuff?
He's a-
connected to the TV.
He's under the computer.
Those eyes, Bobby. Those eyes.
I just knocked all this shit off. Hold on. I got him now.
It's all right. We're not on
Dina,
time limit or
Here he
anything
comes.
here.
Here he comes. Hold on.
Oh no.
Yurt's radio's not going to have us very long.
Here he is.
It was a great one
Oh,
show.
there he is.
I'm leaving.
She said she was leaving.
He's
Hi.
backwards.
Backward.
I don't know.
Oh,
Have you got your hand up?
What?
Well, you know, whatever you put your hand up to.
What are you
Put
talking
your hand
about?
in his
We were
ass.
talking about little balls
Hi,
earlier.
buddy. What's going
he's giving-
on?
Yeah, he's giving you the look like, yeah, I'll fucking kill you the second I get a chance when he's gone.
That's why I can talk.
Bitch took my voice.
If he starts talking while he's sitting in Dina's lap, I could see her tossing him across the room.
All right, so $50 for a photo of Shelton and Dina in a bra. So
$15.
I love Shelton.
oh,
Wish I could make his
set
voice.
OnlyFans up.
Fuck you, Glenn. Do it again,
I can hear it's funny. I can hear him yelling that. Ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast around the
Good
world,
night, everybody.
we love each and every one of you, all except for
Night.
you, one guy. You know who you
Goodbye,
are.
Shelton.
See ya.
Bye.